Okay. With addition, I said what we are looking for. You got double bond and triple bond. You want to eliminate those guys. All right. Until sometimes, if it's a double bond, you break it, you are left with one bond. If you break one of the bond in the triple, you are left with two, but you can also break it again. For the second time, you are left with one. You just break. Sometimes you break it twice, sometimes once. That's all there is. So they say this reaction takes place with unsaturated a double, triple bond. If you got multiple bonds, it's called unsaturated. Are you listening to what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, single bonds are called saturated. Double, triple, four pull, five pull, seven pull, and up pull. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say apple and orange. Sorry, all right. But there was a pull in the end. Anyway, more than one bond, as long as double or more, it's unsaturated. You actually have up to three bonds, triple bonds. You don't have beyond that. Compound, which are usually more reactive. Are you listening? The double, triple are more reactive than saturated compound. Then they say it takes place with double bond and triple bond. As I've mentioned, they say two atoms are added across the electron rich bond. So here are the things, what can be added. You see this one. This belongs to, because you can see it's diatomic. They belong to like Cl2 chlorine, Br2, all of that. Sometimes they're gases. Okay, it's that. You could have used H2, which is this one, but they're referring to their halogens. So these ones is what I was telling you. Group 7, halogens is basically that in your case, but it could be something else. And then here, that's where we're adding the hydrogen. I already mentioned that you're adding the hydrogen. If you don't finish, don't worry, we'll finish up tomorrow, because I want you to get hold of this. And then here we're adding water, but they'll call it hydration. Anything that has hydrate is water. It's hydrate, this one. And then here you're adding hydrogen, and group 7. Hydrogen, I want yellow here, and halogens. That's where those things are. Okay, let's start. If I add this group 7, which are called halogens, so the reaction will be called halogenation. I already told you that. If I add the hydrogen, it will be called hydrogenation. If I'm adding water, they will call it hydration. If I'm adding hydrogen and halogen, it will be a halogenation. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to another reaction. When we come back to this one, this elimination reaction, that one, they are taking the same thing, what I gave you the name. We will start them with DE. DE means removing. There'll be DE. There'll be DE in the beginning. So when you know addition, you know elimination. So when I remove the halogen, it will be called dehalogenation. If I remove hydrogen, it will be dehydrogenation. If I remove water, it will be called dehydration. If I remove hydrogen and halogen, it will be dehydrohalogenation. Can you see that they are together, addition and elimination, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's move on now. Let's see now. See what's given to you. I already did this one. Do you see that guy? That guy is an halogen. It's actually halogen. It's addition of halogens. So can you see addition of what? Halogens. So this should be called, the name of this one, we should be calling it halogenation. It should be called halogenation reaction. So you already know we're going to break one of the bond here like this. And then there will be a bond here. There will be a bond here on this one. So since it's chlorine and chlorine, you don't have to worry. You put Cl here, you put Cl here. Then you can name this thing now. Can you see now? There it is.
Yes,
That is
sir.
chlorine by number 1, chlorine by number 2, because you'll call this carbon number 1, carbon number 2. So it's 1, 2, but there are 2 chlorine. It will be dichloro. 2 carbons, it's ethane. That's it. Those are the things they were asking you there. So now we come now. When you look at this guy, that guy, it's called, well, it's hydrogen. There it is. So it should be called hydrogenation. Can you see now? It's hydrogenation. We are from this one here. Can you see that? This one, they say it normally occurs dissolved in solvents such as carbon tetrachloride. That's a bomb, that thing. Okay, let's not even worry about that. Okay, it needs a catalyst normally used as platinum or palladium or nickel. You see, it needs a catalyst, this one. All right, now they say it's known as hydrogenation. So we're breaking the double or the triple bonds. All right, so what will happen? So when I make that bond here to be 1, this carbon will have a bond here and another one will have a bond. But you don't have to worry which carbon has more hydrogen, because you're putting hydrogen here and hydrogen there. Then it becomes that. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Next one, we are going to add water. Remember water, they call it hydrate. Actually, if water was called water, the reaction was going to be called watergenation. If we didn't change it, it's supposed to be water. That means it's an addition of water. But since they choose hydration, hydrate, they just call it hydration. That is the addition of water. And then they tell you it occurs in the presence of acid H+. So let's back off a little bit here. Here I said with this chlorine, what you need to do is just break it and say chlorine with chlorine. Then you know 1 chlorine on 1 carbon, 1 chlorine on the other. With this one is hydrogen, you break it into H, bonded with H, 1 H on the carbon, 1 H on the other. When you come here, because you're dealing with water, I said you break it into H and the OH, because it must be two things. 1 carbon takes H, the other carbon takes what? OH. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Then you have to worry this time, because when you make a bond here and a bond on the other one, the hydrogen, since it's the only one, it must go where the carbon, to the carbon that has many hydrogen. Well, carbon 1 and carbon 2, they've got 2, 2. So in this case, it doesn't matter because no carbon has more hydrogen. So you can put H here, or you could put OH here. It doesn't matter in this case. And then you can put the OH there. Now, this is now a new thing you're gonna name. Okay, something is happening here. Okay, let me reverse. Yeah, let me reverse again. Yeah, then let me reverse from it. Then you should be having OH there. Then this whole thing, it's now your alcohol, you name it. That's it. Now, that's it. So now it's the same thing here, right? Anyway, right. It's the same one. Then we're going to addition. When you look at this one, this is in a form of HCl, whatever it might be, HCl, HBr. And I said you split this thing. Okay, you split it into H and your X. And then here, once you break the double bond, one carbon has a bond, another one. Then H is the only one that is there. Where am I? No, it's not showing what I'm supposed to show. I'm here. I'm actually here. Let me pause a little bit. Yeah, I was talking about this one. It is the same as HCl, HBr. And I said when you write it, break it into two. Write it as H dash X. H is the only one that is here. It's one H. So it matters where H goes. So when you break that, when you do that, you check which carbon has many H. None of them has many H here. So you can put H anywhere. But when you come to the next one, the one I'm pointing at, it's got triple bond. So when you break one bond, you're left with double. You do this. You do this. Look here. You've got H and X. You check which carbon has many bonds. It's a tie. It doesn't matter there. But now they took the reaction further. This one. They added it with that one. So let me put it in a yellow box. It's another reaction. They reacted it twice. They take that plus that. When you break one of them, you're going to have a bond here, another bond here. So this one is H bonded with X. So you check which carbon has more hydrogen. Carbon number 1. So that means the H must come by number 1, the X must come by that. That's why they did that. It's the rule which is called Markovnikov's rule. So you see, you cannot use HF, the first one right at the top in a periodic table. So that was addition rule. There is 7 minutes left.